Yeah, it's still a lot of debate about who we are. Cats arguing we ain't African, we ain't black, we ain't this, we ain't that. Man, truth is we all of that. Cause all of that come from us, you know what I'm saying? It's all about where you gon' fit in. Yeah. Yo, what's your name? You an African, an American, or an Israelite? Black or more, Muhammad or a provocateur? What the business like? Malcolm X, my enemy. Chief Turner, Dr. King, keep a burner, you repeat. Look at me, who you see? I'm Garvey when I rap a bar. Every line is a blacker star. I'm Masterful cause I understand who these crackers are. Nat Turner's my avatar. My attitude so disciplined. I'm a mocking dog. These Europeans know what I mean. I'm Farrakhan, never will I run. Robert Williams with a gun. George and Jonathan Jackson, Dr. Joseph Ben, Yakanan. Show and prove like Dr. Clark. I'm a boom cause I got the heart. I'm Dubois cause I'm hella smart. I'm Denzel cause I got the part. I'm Bianchi, Sutton Kufu, Mansa Musa, Shaka Zulu. I'm with Mia, I'm with Tulu. If I was Jesus, what would you do? I'm a Negro and I'm colored. I'm and your brother, yeah, I kill you, but I love you. Accept your own and reject it. What's your name?
What's your name? And why don't you now know what your name was then? Where did it go? Where did you lose it? Who took it? And how did he take it? What tongue did you speak? How did the man take your tongue? Where is your history? How did the man wipe out your history? What did the man do to make you a dumb?
What's your name? It's the Chigaboo, it's the Porsche Monkey, it's the Sambo, it's the Oreo, maybe Revolution is just too much for the handle. I ain't carry no scandal. I ain't scary, I am a Harry Tubman with a candle. Time to pick up the mantle. I'm a son to and Queen of Zinga, Nefertiti and Queen of Mina, Hatshepsut and the Queen of Sheba. She thinks she God, please believe her. Name is Osada, great escape. Angela Davis, Pete State, Winnie Mandela, refuse to break. I'm anime, refuse to hate. I see straight through cause I'm late today. Miss Fannie Lou, I got things to say. Miss Shirley Chisholm, I paved the way. The homie queen came to slay. Better survive, I mean my Malcolm. Black love is the only outcome. I won't stop until y'all have some. I might set this don't happen. I'm more shoot, come bless the altar. I'm Nivea, I bless the Walter. I'm more Lacuna, I drive my daughter. I'm Moya, I cannot falter. I'm the one to give birth to stars. Masterful, how I work these bars. Series B to the earth to Mars. KOS, reverse for stars. What's your name?
What's your name? And why don't you now know what your name was then? Where did it go? Where did you lose it? Who took it? And how did he take it? What tongue did you speak? How did the man take your tongue? Where is your history? How did the man wipe out your history? What did the man do to make you as dumb as you are right now?
All right. Woo. What's your name?
What's your name?
That song won't get old. It won't get old.
Oh man. You know, hey, we come in many shapes, sizes, philosophies, and ideologies. Don't we? We are not a monolith. All right. Peace and power to everyone out there, and welcome to the First Majority Podcast. All right. I am Baba Amin. I'm with my powerful co-host
Baba Ritaske Aku Abba.
Yes. And y'all, we got a very special guest with us today. We're going to be talking to her in a little bit just after we honor our ancestors. But we got Mama G Miller in the house today, y'all.
Yes,
we got Mama G Miller in the house today.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? And we're honored to have you here, Mama, with us on the First Majority. And y'all, we call it the First Majority Podcast because we are the first majority on this planet. And to be more specific, we're the first majority in South Carolina too.
That's right.
Okay.
Right.
And so this is the First Majority Podcast where we're all about getting back to our roots, but we're getting back to our roots in order to propel ourselves into the future, right? And of course, we want to honor and acknowledge our sponsor, the Juneteenth, the SC Juneteenth Freedom Fest. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The 8th annual. I mean, he did 8 years in a row. This is year 8.
This is year 8.
This is year 8. All right.
Year.
Come on now. Powerful year 8.
8.
You know, and you turn that 8 to the side, that's an infinity. All right. All right. And so we want to shout out the 8th annual SC Juneteenth Freedom Fest. You know what I'm saying? Our president and founder, Jamal, I call him Jamal Juneteenth Bradley.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
that's
Yeah, that's Jamal Juneteenth. Juneteenth Jamal in the house. You know,
right.
our executive director, Miss Tina Torres, you know, and the whole board of directors and leadership and organizers of this great event, and of which we're a part of.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Of which we're a part of, right. And so, in the spirit of Juneteenth, in the spirit of the Juneteenth Freedom Festival, we're bringing you the First Majority podcast. We're going to go every Friday up until June 15th. 2024, when we're having the Juneteenth Freedom Fest. We're going to be broadcasting live though on June 14th.
Yes, on June 14th.
From the night parade.
From the night parade.
From the Juneteenth night parade. You know what I'm saying? And so hopefully Miss Tina will get to come on tonight and talk about this. I ain't never been to a night parade. Been to a night parade? I've been to a parade.
But not a night parade.
I've never.
That's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah,
that is gonna be.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be in the evening time. Sun gonna be set. It's not gonna be hot, and we got a path that's going right through downtown Columbia.
Yes.
The
main artery.
The main artery.
The main artery.
Okay.
The main artery.
That's exciting. That's exciting.
That's what I'm talking about. That's good. That, you know, you talk to somebody from a rural area when they say, we say we call it downtown. They call we're down at the main artery, the heart of Columbia, right? So we're definitely looking forward to that. So, but before we get into it, y'all, we want to honor our ancestors who we invite to be with us and to guide us from their plane of awareness, so we can be about the things that we're about and say the things that we're about to say. Baba Rutaski is going to lead us in libation, as he does so powerfully every week. And for those who are watching, if there's someone that you would like to honor, feel free to put their names in the chat. Ashe. It's on you, Bob.
All right. Oh, great ancestors, we call upon you far and near, fathers and mothers of our fathers, mothers and fathers of our mothers, to bear witness to all that we have done. And it is by your example that you continue to inspire us towards reclaiming our ancestral minds, regenerating our ancestral spirit, liberating our families, our homes, and our communities, and restoring our greatness as a people. We pour libation to bring into our midst your venerable ancestral spirit, radiating your great wisdom, your courage and your dedication, and your unyielding commitment to victory by any means necessary. It is in the honor of our Creator, the great ancestor of all ancestors, our mothers and fathers, our sisters and our brothers, our children and their children, that we pour this libation in your honor. And in the honor of our Creator, the great ancestor of all ancestors and the various manifestations of the creative spirit, we pour libation. Ashe. For our esteemed ancestors who laid the foundation for human civilization and who provides the wisdom to which we live and the models by which our lives are guided, we pour libation. Ashe. And for our esteemed ancestors who suffered the atrocities and the horrors of our Ma'afa, but yet demonstrated the victorious power of the ancestral spirit by maintaining their dignity, no matter the cost, we pour libation. Ashe. And for our esteemed ancestors who survived and made it possible for us to be here today, to continue on the valiant fight for our ancestral liberation and our vindication, we pour libation. Ashe. And finally, for our children and their children and future generations of our ancestors to come, that they too in their time will vindicate our race from all adversaries, and that they will continue to imprint upon the world the great genius of our ancestral humanity, we pour libation. Ashe. May your venerable spirit engulf this occasion to reaffirm our ancestral canopy. It is done. The great ancestor of all ancestors is satisfied. Ashe.
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 Ashe. And it's time we want to recognize specifically Juneteenth Jamal wants to pay homage to Enos and Willa Mae Walker. Ashe. And then my son Tajiri wants to pour libation for his grandmother, my beautiful mother, Alice Baker. Ashe. Oh, my son watching too. Oh man, that's all I'm talking about. What's up, son? All right. Ashe. We are beautiful people.
Yes.
Oh,
Right.
oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful people. You know, and I don't take away from nobody else.
No.
But we are a beautiful,
Beautiful.
and proud people.
Yes.
Right.
We
And sometimes it's just necessary to say that.
It's
It's just necessary to say that.
All the
And
time.
pouring libation is such a reminder.
It is such a powerful, it's a powerful duty that we must always do if we want to sustain and maintain
Right.
the energy,
Right.
Right.
the power, the knowledge, and the wisdom that's already been transcended to us.
I
Right.
say. I
And so
say.
that is our way of honoring those ancestors that paved the way for us.
paved the way for
I
us.
say.
Ashe.
That's what I'm
Right.
talking about.
Ashe.
That's what I'm talking about, y'all. All right, y'all. Again, welcome to the First Majority Podcast. First thing we like to do before we get into our conversation, right, is to bring up our African proverb of the week, right?
Okay.
Right. So much of what we build
Yes.
and how our ancestors have built
That's
is
right.
based on wisdom.
That's
It's
right.
based on
Absolutely.
observing nature
That's right.
Absolutely.
and being in tune with nature.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
And that's what wisdom is
right.
born
Born.
of,
Yes.
right? It's born
That's
of
right.
scientific observation.
That's
I heard
right.
Mama G was speaking of the martial sciences earlier. There's a
Mhm.
science to this
To
thing
it.
we call life.
Right.
And African proverbs are a great way to understand some results of some experiments.
That's
right.
right.
Right. And so today's African proverb, right, is a village without the elderly is like a well without water.
Mm.
I'm gonna
That's
say it
powerful.
again. A
That's
village
powerful.
without the elderly is like a well without water.
That's right.
I felt that was important to say and to bring out today,
That's right.
because we live in a culture,
Right.
a dominant culture
That's right.
that forgets about the elderly.
That's right.
Is that safe to say?
That's safe to
That's
say.
We
safe
put
to
elderly
say.
in homes. We
That's right.
ignore the elderly.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Like so we can get so caught up in that culture as a people. We kind of get caught
That's
up
right.
in that more European type
That's
thing, you
That's
know,
right.
and we forget, you know what I'm saying, that our elders are sources of wisdom,
That's right.
sources of power.
That's
Our
right.
elders remind us of who we are,
That's right.
whose we are, keep us grounded. So this proverb, y'all, a village without the elderly
Yes.
is like a well without
Without
water.
water.
Our community ain't going. I know we talk about the youth and parent and
Right.
youth last week,
That's
but
right.
guess what? Our community ain't going nowhere without our elders either.
No, they're not.
The elders are not the past.
No, they're the roots.
They are
They're the roots.
they are
They're
the
the roots.
roots
They're
that
the
keep
roots.
us grounded.
That's right.
Right. So when you hear this proverb, Baba Rutaski, a village without the elderly is like a well without water.
Water.
What do you think?
Well, you know, the things that our elders have built for us,
Mhm.
it's the foundation.
Right.
You can't sustain something that's never there.
Right.
But when the elders have built something for us, our efforts are to sustain and maintain what they have built
What
for
they
us.
have. Right.
And then that which was not able to be built, we create that. But it manifests from the roots.
Right.
From the root.
Right.
It manifests from the roots.
Yeah.
So we can never forget about the elders or our ancestors. That goes much further than that.
Right.
Mhm.
But the elders are the ones that we look to for guidance.
Right.
They're that's where we get knowledge and wisdom from.
Right. Right.
Right. And so information and instruction, how else was the story told to us? It was from the
Right.
elders.
Right.
That's how we was educated.
Right.
It's from the elders telling the story.
Story.
We didn't write things down.
No.
We
Right.
didn't have books.
No.
No, we gathered around the tree or on the porch and they told the story.
They
I
told
say.
us.
And we
Right.
remember that more than we remember what we read.
That's true.
Because there was an attachment, there's an energy and a spirit that's attached to the elders so that we can remember ourselves,
Right.
so that we don't become detached, right?
Right.
Because we have been dismembered
Come on.
because the stories are not being told anymore.
Right.
Because got caught, and there's nothing wrong with reading, don't get me wrong, but I remember more from what I learned from my elders than I did from any book that I've read.
Right.
Because those are the things that I have an attachment to. Those are the things that mean the most to me.
Right.
That my grandparents, my
Right.
aunts, my uncles, my mother, my father,
Right.
I remember what they taught me
Right.
quicker than I remember what I was taught in school.
Well, it's an
That's
African
true.
proverb that says when you bury an elder, you're burying a library.
You are.
That's true.
That's right.
Absolutely.
There's
That's
another.
a very important.
Yes. There's another proverb that says the young move fast, but the elder knows the road.
That's
Knows
exactly
the
right.
road.
Right,
Oh,
right,
my
right.
grandmother. Oh my goodness! Every
Yes.
time I think about that,
Yes, ma'am. Yes. You know, and so y'all out there, you know, take this with you, take this proverb with you, you know, and get out there. You know, we like to do call to actions around here.
Yeah.
Get out there in your community, with your family. Make sure you're honoring your elders, spending time with your elders. Take the youth. If you work with young people, make sure there's something built in your curriculum and what you're doing where you're taking young people around the elders and have them sit at their feet and to learn, right? And to learn. All right. And speaking of learning, we about to learn tonight. We about to learn a little something tonight.
Thank you,
because
Barbara.
we have one of our most powerful elders in our community.
Yes.
In our midst too.
Literally powerful.
Literally powerful. Like literally. All kind of ways. All right.
All kinds of ways.
Yeah, all kind of. When I first moved to South Carolina, I remember the first Juneteenth Freedom Fest I went to.
Okay.
Now I had already met
Right.
Mama G Miller before that.
Right.
We met at an event, but she wasn't doing her thing at the event where we met.
Right.
When we got to Juneteenth Freedom Fest, she was doing her thing.
That's right.
So I met this sweet, gentle, beautiful lady at this event.
That's right.
I pull up to the Juneteenth and I came right when you were on.
Okay.
And I walked up and she got two swords in her hand.
That's
I said,
right.
wait, I just met that sweet lady. And she just went to getting it. Then she kicked her leg up higher than I've been able to kick my leg in 30 years.
Right.
Right. And I said, oh, okay. She on that next level.
Yeah.
Right. And so we are honored.
Yes.
Thank you.
To have
Asante.
with us today, Mama G Miller.
There you go.
Asante.
Mama G, Mama G.
What's happening,
Thank you.
Mama G?
Asante.
Mama G is in the house, y'all. Mama G is in the house. Y'all know, we don't hang around those scrubs.
Right, no, we don't.
Right.
There's some powerful people of African descent in our community. It's an honor to have you here today, Mama G. A village without the elderly is like a well without water.
And people die of thirst.
Mm.
They die because there's nothing that liquidates their mind. My grandmother Marie raised me. I was born in Jerusalem, and my mom and dad were working on getting their thing together. She said, okay. So she came and got me. And she brought me to New Orleans and then eventually to Philadelphia.
Okay.
And you were talking about how things that your elders will do will stay with you until you take your last breath. My oldest son, he was 2. He had a fascination with the oven.
Yes.
He always wanted to mess with the stove. And I'm losing my mind one day. Young parent, don't touch the stove. You're going to die. And what Mother Marie did, okay, you people said, that's child abuse. No. She turned the stove on, got the oven extra hot, and he ran over laughing, ha, ha, ha. He went, shh. And she went, hot. He went, hot, hot. He never, ever touched the oven again.
That's right.
And I went, oh, so that's how you teach without going through this stress.
Right.
Because he wasn't paying me no mind.
Right.
But he understood that concept of wisdom.
Yes.
Through experience.
That's right.
Right? Okay. He experienced this is hot. You could hand him an ice cube after that.
That's right.
And say hot. 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 Yeah. But that's why we need our elders.
Yes.
Yes.
Because that makes you who you are.
That's right.
Not saying that books aren't right. They're right. Yet, but that experience will teach a lot quicker.
That's right.
Than reading chapter after chapter after chapter.
There you go.
Ashe.
Yes.
Well, we're sitting with a library right now. Your life, your experiences, you are fascinating a woman and a person, human being, Empress. How did you get here? How did Mama G become Mama G?
All right. There was a movie, I think it was Officer and a Gentleman. And Jack Nicholson sat on the court. He was in the witness stand. So I usually share with people the truth. You really want the truth? Can you handle the truth? Can you handle the truth? I truly believe that some people are given the journey. I'm a torchbearer. I'm not a pathfinder. There are many people who came before me. And going from Philadelphia, having a Hebrew background and then a Creole background, and I went to a Catholic school for all girls, like Harry Potter school, where we wore the uniform all the time, that the knowledge just saturated me. And this was what my grandmother insisted on. Because when I would come home, she said, okay, tell me what you did today. What did you learn from what's the interaction? I went to University of Penn in Philadelphia during the time when they had affirmative action, because the Ivy League schools needed us in order to get the federal money.
That's right.
So even though I wanted to go to Howard, everybody hear me on that, right? My grandmother said, hey, look, free ride, full scholarship, everything.
Right.
Do that and you'll get to Howard. It'll happen. Went there. I was blessed to understand that power to the people. I believe in that. So I searched. I wanted a Black brother. I did.
Okay.
I didn't follow the rules completely. And he was 35 and I was 21 out of college. And this is for my sisters who are out, my sisters, my daughters. Sometimes what you want may not be the best for you, even though you think you know. It turned out to be, I was an attempted murder survivor. I had 2 sons. I was captive in the house for 2 years. Survived. My ancestors, and my grandmother was still living. And they got me through all of this. We were homeless for 2 years. And then my grandmother said, come, live with us, live with me. And I was like, no, he's still out there. She said, just come on, trust me. So I said, okay. Well, 2 days after we moved in, he shows up. And we're in the house, he's banging on the door. And my grandmother says, step away from the door. And I'm like, no, he's going to break in here. He's going to kill us. And it's going to be horrible. And she went, step away from the door. I listened to my grandma. I stepped away from the door. He kicked the door in and she had a chainsaw. I went, warriorship. That's what I don't have.
That was hot.
That was hot.
Yes,
that was the hot moment.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, I got to find warriorship. So I was blessed to meet a group of Black Panthers, warriors back in the late 70s were a lot, they're more hands-on.
Yes.
This was the Vita Saana African Fighting Systems. At that time, they were all brothers. And I walked in, I said, I want to learn how to kill. They said, okay, cool. No problem. We'll teach you how to kill. And that's how I got into it.
Wow.
I have competed for the last 50 years. I love weapons. I don't know why. I just love the weapons. And it's important that some people understand that guns won't always protect you.
That's right.
They're not always going to be there. You have to have the strategy of chess. Know when to pull the trigger. Know when to have hand-to-hand. And to train and be healthy. Not just sit there and play games.
That's right.
You have to get out there, run a little bit. This is what the elders did back then. They walked everywhere because they weren't allowed to ride the buses. Politically, it was if you missed it, you had to walk 5 or 10 miles. So we don't do that anymore. So as I move forward with it, the Creator and the ancestors bless me. And I know you said how I got here. I lived on 6 of the 7 continents.
Wow.
I won't tell you too much of the backstories, but I got there and eventually went to Texas. Not the place that you send a Black Power
Unless you really want to get into some warriorship.
Warriorship.
Yeah.
And I had a group of young people teenagers who weren't appropriate, and one young lady was pregnant. And a Texan Caucasian police officer came in. She had a warrant for stealing something,
Oh,
and
that's
she was pregnant. I mean,
Yeah,
okay.
that's Texas for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he went to grab her, and my brain went back to the moment when my life was in danger.
Right.
He grabbed her, I grabbed him. He grabbed his gun. I grabbed the gun, I threw it across the room. I probably would have been okay, but all the babies in the room, man, that was bad. Did you see? That was just like Bruce Lee. I was like, now I'm going to jail.
Mm.
He called his backup. Okay, I was like, I can talk these people out. And they said, well, where is he? I went, oh. He said, it's her. It's her. They busted out laughing.
Wow.
That secured it. And I did county, I did state. They kept bringing the charges back. Oh, she's a Panther, all like this. And I did federal.
Mm.
I did federal time.
So stepping in,
Right.
defending a sister who's being attacked by a police officer.
Right.
In Texas.
In Texas. Yes. And after my appeal went through and I got out, I said, I'm going to try to behave myself. Okay. Went back to Philadelphia. I want to put a little caveat in here that our young people watch us elders very closely.
Yes.
So if the elders are there, they watch you. And a young man I was working with, we were sitting in the office and he knocked on the door and he came in, he said, Mama G, good morning. And there were 6 other social workers there. They didn't say anything. I was like, oh no, we can't have this. We can't have it. Go back out, knock on the door again, come, and you say something to everybody. I don't care what you say. You say something. He said, okay.
Yeah.
He came back in and said, good morning, Mama G. And F you, F you, F you, and F you. I was like, and then he looked at me. He said, Mama G, you said say something.
And it doesn't matter what you say.
What you said.
It was on his heart.
You didn't make it clear.
That's right.
That was another hot stove moment.
That's right.
Okay, if I'm going to work with these young people, they're watching me, I have to be clear about what I'm saying. And that's essential. So I got down here after that, and now we're into the political thing.
Yes. And we're definitely going to get to that. One of the things, Bob Rutaski, that I think people understand is, so you've lived through multiple eras.
Yes.
That Black Power movement era,
right?
The civil rights, going into the Black Power era. Then we're going into the 80s with the crack epidemics, and then the mass incarceration of the 90s, and that sort of thing. How have you seen things change as far as how we respond and deal with those things as a community?
As long as it doesn't affect us, unfortunately. It's unfortunate. As long as it doesn't affect us, and as soon as it's over, I'm glad that's done. We have a tendency to forget, especially with the elders. It's frightening to be in a house for days and weeks at a time and be alone. And then when you're like Mother's Day is Sunday.
Right.
I don't do man-made holidays.
Sure.
I just, or societal holidays. I don't do that. We stopped doing it all year long.
That's correct.
We would go and see grandma or grandpa on Sundays.
That's right.
Every single Sunday.
That's right.
But we stopped.
Yes.
For some unknown, I got to do this. Why are you stopping? Because they made good food. They made sure you ate healthy. You have food to take home.
Mhm.
You have family time.
You have family time, and that keeps the spirit
That's right.
uplifted.
I share.
Mm.
So without that time, the elders, that disconnect, we got into, I'm not going to pick on social media, not going to do, but we got into stuff that was artificial.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just, I do not like Walt Disney at all. I told friends, I will not say I hate Walt Disney
Mhm.
anymore. I won't say that. Just a little.
Just a little.
Just a little.
Just a little. Wow.
But let me ask you a
Mhm.
question. How many children, since you've been here in Columbia, South Carolina, just percentage wise or an estimate, how many children have you infected with the with your knowledge and your wisdom?
I stopped counting a long time ago. The ones who are older now,
Yes.
who've been with the Rich program and Karu for as long, there are about 150 young people who are now, older with
Yes.
children and families. I've been blessed to work with the young people at DJJ for the last 10 years, and I may only see them for an hour in
Right.
life.
Mm.
But when you see them again,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Yes.
I went to get some pizza one day and I heard this scream, "Mama G, it's you!" And I was like, "Oh, what?" And he was the manager at one of the pizza places. I said,
Yeah.
"Oh," he said, "You come here, you get free pizza." See, I can't say what company it is.
Right. And those hookups. You know?
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah. Those hookups.
right.
You know. Tell us a little bit about your youth program and the work that you do in the community. Then we're going to talk about what the journey you're embarking on now.
The sad thing that people do right away is they say, "Oh, those gang members, First of all, our young Black young people, mostly male, they're not anywhere near the level of gangs. I do not use that word. They are street level associations. That's who they are. They're groups. They get together. They feed each other. Whatever has to happen. The Rich program was rebuilding individual character habits.
Mm.
You can't be successful unless you work on the ego.
Yes.
I'm all this. They used to call me Mama OG.
Mm.
I told them, drop that O, because we don't want to give somebody the impression that I'm evil,
Right.
or oh no, she's not doing this correctly. Rebuilding individual character habits. The ego is something that we have a lot of issues with our young people.
Yes.
And then that takes us to social media. It takes us to the Walt Disney situation. People say, "Why you pick on Walt Disney?" Because he came up with life is not happy endings all the time. We have to have a trust strategy. Pocahontas was not happy-go-lucky. She died when she was 17 years old from smallpox. She didn't marry the captain.
Right.
The Little Mermaid, he had married somebody else, and she jumped and drowned off the cliff.
Gave all her power.
Gave all her power because she went and got legs. It's not.
Then they're gonna go make her black last year. But anyway.
Anyway, we're not. Yeah. So you have the better story writers like Brothers Grimm.
Yes.
Because they got down to it. Little Riding Hood died. The wolf ate her.
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
Yeah, he did.
Now I think about it.
Yeah, he ate her.
So, they told the truth.
Right. And this was some people, well, you don't want to make the children unhappy. I am an urban anthropologist. I just want to throw this in there. I'm a behavioral scientist. My youngest son, his teacher brought in all the little Easter baskets. Mm-hmm. And he told her, he was 5 or 6. He said, "I can't eat that." And she's all upset, young Caucasian woman. "Why not?" He said, "Because that's a Roman sexual holiday." Esther is a sex fertility goddess.
That's right.
So rabbits don't have eggs.
No, they don't.
chickens have eggs. So at that point, my children were home. You have to have schools that bring their culture, like you, but you have to have that.
I'm just gonna put the banner up.
Okay. There it is. Because if you don't get them to a certain point so that they learn their own culture first,
That's right.
they're not going to know what's real and what isn't real.
And that's great, because the emphasis is on culture.
Culture.
The emphasis
Right.
is on culture, ways of life, ways
Right.
of being, of believing, ways of moving that fit us naturally. And a lot of times we feel like we're upgrading when we leave
Right.
our culture, but that comes from an inferiority
Of the
complex,
complex.
right?
Right.
Right.
And I think that it has a lot to do with eldership.
Right.
The elders are the one that teaches us our morals.
Right.
They teach us our values. They teach us our principles. They teach us they teach us ethics.
There
Right.
it is.
You won't find that in any school
No.
of thought. The school is only designed, unless it's a
Mhm.
cultural school.
You are so true.
The school
with
is
that.
only designed
Designed
to
to
teach you
teach you.
how to be a subservient
Yeah.
member
Yeah.
of a global society.
Right.
So are
Right.
they true schools?
No.
Or are they training centers?
They're training
They're
centers.
training.
They're
They're
training
training
centers.
and it comes from. I'm sorry. It comes from the English K through 12 system,
That's right.
where they would train you. So they had young people to work in the factories.
That's right.
Mhm.
They had to get the mind so you could go and do all that horrible stuff.
That's right.
It wasn't about money. It was about who would be subservient
That's right.
and who would be the elite. As was said before, you never forget what your elder teaches you. I was in the kitchen again. I don't know why. I was always in the kitchen with my grandmother, just getting in trouble. And she said, what does the clock say? I was 24 years old. I went, clock says tick, tock. I didn't get that one out because the spoon was here and the spaghetti sauce was all over my face.
Yeah.
I said, what you hit me for? And she said, I didn't ask you to get smart. I asked you what time it was.
Mhm.
It's 4 o'clock and I'm going to leave and I'm not going to come back. Right. Of course I came back.
Of course. Right.
But they can bring it back to you
Mhm.
so quickly.
That's right.
And some people will say, oh, that's abuse. No, that's not abuse. Sometimes you just have
That's a
to.
lesson. That's hot.
That's hot. That's the hot.
That's hot.
See, we got a thing.
That's hot.
That's the hot
That's
moment.
the hot. That's the
Right.
hot moment.
Hot moment.
So you mentioned earlier about with elders kind of stopping, and saying,
Right.
if it don't affect me, you clearly haven't stopped.
No.
You're currently running for SC State House for District 70.
Yes.
What led you into the political arena?
It's important as an educator, especially working with the young people I work with and with my co-elders may not being able, we've lost so many
Yes.
to do this. As a torchbearer, I have health, I am blessed, I have my mind. Why waste it just sitting? That's not what God gives you things to do. The Creator gives you the knowledge. Well,
Yes.
let me use it.
Yes.
And this is why I'm running. We have lost 55% of women of color. They're not there in the state town. We have a super Republican majority now. And what happened? Women's rights is in jeopardy now.
It is.
A lot of our elders may not be aware of political things that are happening. We have the voucher issue, which has been going on for a while now.
Mhm.
So I know this. I know
School choice.
Right.
School freedom. I call it education freedom.
education
I have a
freedom.
private school. So
And whatever somebody would need to do, the only place, unfortunately, if elders can't get to church, they don't do social media as much. They're not doing that. So we got to get the knowledge, and that's why I did it, because I can still do it.
Yes.
say. I say.
That's it.
But we got on the screen, y'all, Mama G for SC.com. You know, everybody definitely go and check it out. Check out your platform and what you're talking about. But most importantly, we brought you on our episode talking about the elders because we believe in showing examples.
Right. Thank you.
And an example of one of our elders who's here, who's teaching, who's available, who's accessible, very active, right? And to show that it can be done.
It can be done.
And it is being done.
It's being done. I think what we have is an opportunity to have, back in the day when we had the Black Panthers, there was a group called the Gray Panthers. I don't know if people, they need to look up the Gray Panthers.
It's on. The Gray the Gray Panthers, y'all.
The Gray Panthers, and they were on fire. So we need to maintain that interaction, especially with our elders. Eat together. Please go see your grandmother, go see your grandfather, have meals with them, and you'll hear stories. I don't know, do you have time for one quick story? Do we have time? Are we almost done?
Yes, we have time. We have time for one quick story.
I was blessed to be able to sit in the kitchen with my grandmother and her sister. So I learned a lot that way.
Right.
And I went to a good Catholic school, and we used to have show and tell day. So I said, I'm going to bring my Aunt Marion with me to show and tell. And she was always beautifully dressed and just jewelry. So I brought her to school. I was in 2nd grade. And I said, this is my Aunt Marion. And I'm going to be just like her when I grow up. And the nun said, and what does your Aunt Marion do for a living? I said, she's a courtesian in New Orleans. And the kids are going, oh, and the nuns are going, oh, right. You know, I had no idea, but I knew that this elder was doing something that I wanted to do.
Right.
So
now
right.
What's a courtesian?
That's a escort.
Okay, you answered when you said I understood.
Oh, you understood.
I just wanted to be clear.
Right. That's an escort.
All right.
And so that was going on way back in the day.
Yes.
And I mean, this is how you learn about sex, all like that, from your elders.
Right.
You get the real story, because parents ain't gonna say it. No, I'm sorry, parents.
We get nervous sometimes when you're in parent mode.
Yeah, parent mode.
Just like you was with the stove and the baby and that sort of thing. Yes.
So elders will give you the backstory, as they say.
Yes.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So we have a primary coming up.
Yes.
June 11th. What
June
you need
11th.
us to do? What you need the community to do?
Get the word out. The areas are Lugoff, Kershaw, Camden, and Hopkins. Be aware that I will be a representation of wisdom, and the well will always be full of water.
Ashe.
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 That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Y'all know what y'all thinking out there right now. This is a good podcast.
Yes.
I know it is. I know it is.
Yes.
It's probably going to continue after Juneteenth.
Ashe.
You know, the first majority, Mama G, we really, really appreciate you. You
Thank
know,
you for
I want you to still hang out with us though.
Oh,
you know, you're not going anywhere. And right now we want to do a quick vendor spotlight. All right, we're going to do a quick vendor spotlight. And what I'm going to do, well, first, we want to highlight, we got to do a call to action. Right. Okay. And this call to action is about the Juneteenth Youth Leadership Awards. All right. The Juneteenth Youth Leadership Awards. I'm sure you got something right here. Right. Right. We are recognizing 12 young people, 6 boys, 6 girls. Right. At this year's 8th annual South Carolina Juneteenth Freedom Fest. We're anticipating thousands of people showing up.
That's right.
We want to change the narrative. Right. We said, no, we're not going to come out here and scream, stop the violence.
Right.
The majority of our children are not violent.
They're not violent. No.
We're going to come out and say, hey, keep up this. Let's put some youth examples out here to show that most Black children are out here fighting the odds
Yes,
trying
they
their
are.
best to achieve
That's right.
in spite
Yes, they
of
are.
low expectations,
That's right.
in spite of a bad image
That's
that we're
right.
not doing a good job of
Right.
protecting.
That's right.
Right. And we need to recognize
Right.
them. And so this year, we're going to recognize 12 young people
Awesome.
for the Juneteenth Youth Leadership Award. This is the nomination form that I'm sharing right now. Right. I'm going to put the link to this nomination form in the chat. All right.
Yes.
I'm going to put the link to this nomination form in the chat if you're in the Columbia, South Carolina area. Man, you know what? If you just anywhere and you're willing to travel, nominate somebody.
That's right.
Now
Nominate.
we have to go
somebody.
through. We have to go through
Right.
and make a selection, but we want those nominations
That's
to come in, and we're going to recognize every youth that's nominated,
That's
at
right.
least with a
Right.
certificate, a nomination,
wonderful.
that sort of thing. But those who are selected, they're
That's
going to
right.
receive a beautiful, beautiful trophy,
Yeah.
a beautiful
Wow.
award on stage,
Mm.
plus other gifts that we have
Yes.
coming.
That's right.
You know,
Yes.
and we're saying we recognize you, we see you, keep doing what
Yes.
you're doing. Go ahead.
It's not by happenstance that the majority of our kids are doing great things
Yes.
because we are the first majority.
Come on now.
When
Right.
you are the first majority, then you have a responsibility to make sure that the majority of the people are doing great things.
Things.
Mhm.
Right.
Our job as elders is to make sure that we're doing the best way of that we know
Now
how
how?
to bring that forward. Because if we don't do it, then why do we expect for anybody else to do it for
Right.
us?
Right.
So it is our job to make sure that we are bringing the light to the majority of the
Mhm.
kids that are doing great things in our
Mhm.
families and in our communities. I don't expect for nobody else to do that for us but us.
Right.
That's our job.
It's our job. That's right.
Right.
And we don't, and we should not have to go to anybody's news station. We have to create.
Right.
We have to create the pathway on how we want to make sure that we're
Mhm.
publicizing our own children by
Right.
creating events,
Right.
by creating podcasts, by whatever it is that we have to do to make sure that the world knows that
Yes.
our children are doing great
Right.
things. That is why we're doing this. That is why we decided to create and manifest
Yes.
something that the ancestors have given us. Because see, we didn't do this.
No.
Right by me and I, this is not our brainchild. This is our ancestors
Ancestors.
that
Right.
that are using us as a vessel to bring this forward.
Right.
See, there's no way possible that I could even think of something like this. The ancestors says, no, this is what you do. We're going to give you the vehicle to do it, and we're going to give
Right.
you everything that you need to do in order for you to make
That's
it happen.
right.
And the
That's right.
ancestors have done that with me. I was surprised.
Yes.
I'm able to do things at a political level at 71 years old.
Mm.
Whoa, definitely the ancestors.
Yes.
Definitely my grandmother.
Yes.
You are
Right.
so true.
Yes.
No one, absolutely no one would have said 71.
The
if they had
71,
it.
thank
No.
you.
You
No
know
one.
what I'm saying? No one. And that's beautiful. And I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm proud to know
Honored.
you and
Thank you.
honored to
Yes.
know you.
Thank you.
We want to acknowledge our sponsor this year of our Youth Leadership Award.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know,
Right.
we have to marry with business, Black-owned businesses coming together, the community coming together. We want to recognize Plenty More Designs,
Ah,
PMD Designs out of Jacksonville, Florida.
wow.
Right,
Right.
Brother Michael Moore, been in business for over 20 years, and y'all, PMD does it all. If I knew you was
Okay.
running in time, I'd have had him do all your.
I understand. I
yes, but
appreciate that.
PMD does it all, and this brother, PMD has stepped up, and we didn't have to spend a dime on these trophies, on these
Wow.
awards. PMD is sponsoring the whole thing. We recognize them as a resilience sponsor for this year's
Awesome.
8th annual South Carolina Juneteenth
Juneteenth
Freedom
Fest.
Fest
Yes.
Award.
Yes.
And I'm stumbling because I'm thinking at the same time, well, other businesses, y'all better jump on.
Yes.
Right.
Right? Because
Right.
sponsorship is the way to
Is the
go.
way to go.
When you support the community,
That's
the
right.
community
That's right.
supports you back.
That's right.
Yes, they do.
Supports you back. And there are still plenty of room for
Absolutely.
sponsorship
Yeah.
right now
Absolutely.
with the Freedom Fest.
That's right.
Right.
You know,
It's
and
never
so
empty.
it's never
Always.
empty. So y'all get on board. Yep, Nakisha Clinton says, I love Mama J.
Oh,
All right.
thank you.
You know, I
Yes.
love Mama G.
Yes.
And my Facebook friend, Miss Muan Nia Edo, she says, I'm 70. Yes. And Sister Muan, Mama Muan, she be sending me all the old school jams, you know, and all that. So that's your sis out there shouting you out.
You know, they
as
don't
well.
even have a division for me anymore for competition. I've aged out when I go to compete.
No, you didn't age out. They aged out. They aged out.
Yeah. What you know, since you brought up competition, I was reading your flyer here, you know, and y'all, everybody in the community, be on the lookout for these, right? Mama G is the first woman promoted to international martial arts grandmaster and the only woman in the Platinum Hall of Fame. I'm just gonna throw it right
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Drop
Thank
the
you.
mic.
But
there. I'm just gonna
Drop the mic.
the issue with that, though, it can kind of mess up your dating.
Hey, if ego gets in the way,
Yeah, huh?
if ego
If
gets in
ego gets in the way,
ego gets in
you
the
know, they might see something on YouTube or something. Oh, I don't think I want to go, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
That's those soft brothers.
that's all.
Yeah,
They're not
soft
warriors.
brothers.
They're not warriors.
Is that-
But
I was
sometimes, do you
stood
think the
up.
warriors sometimes get intimidated too? The warrior brothers?
yeah, because I go in the men's division and compete. I don't go in the women's division. And I've been stood up.
Mm.
I've been stood up for dinner and stuff. The guy didn't show up.
I know you was scared to call out.
I know.
Like, oh, I didn't show up. I ain't never gonna show up.
Right.
It's going down. Well, Mama G, you are beautiful.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
You are powerful, and we are honored to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, then.
Thank you.
Cool. Y'all make sure y'all got to take care of your business. Somebody, one of my comrades in here, you know, much love. I'm not gonna put your thing up, but you could vote for who, and we don't vote for Dixiecrats and Republicans. But I'm gonna break this down to y'all right quick. I'm not in either party either, right? But we have to be engaged and aware of what's going on with our communities politically, especially on the local and state levels.
That's right.
Right now, I don't get out and argue about who's going to be president. We don't even pick the president.
No.
But locally, you need to understand who's on your school board. And I have an independent school, but I still know who's on the school board.
That's
You need to understand who's on the school board. You need to understand who's on your county council.
That's right.
You need to understand who your mayor is. You need to understand city council. Understand the power that you gain by infiltrating those institutions, being a part of those institutions. They taking your tax dollars and doing things with it, whether you participate
That's right.
or not. So we promote awareness in all environments wherever we are. You need to understand what's going on, right? You don't have to claim a party or anything. You don't have to vote. You don't have to give your vote to anything, anybody or any platform you don't believe in, right? But at the same time, you should have an agenda.
And be engaged in your community.
Exactly. Because politics don't begin at the ballot box.
No, it doesn't.
Politics begins in the community, in your house.
That's right.
And extends out into the community.
That's right.
And so if you're not engaged in voting, okay, but I want to know, are you engaged?
That's right.
Are you engaged in your community?
Within yourself.
Within yourself.
Are you the example for what you want others to see?
Are
you the example?
So I just wanted to put that wisdom out there because we want to definitely promote. If we say, you know, don't vote, that's fine, but you got to have your why ready. You have to have your alternative ready to political power. And you have to understand that that vote is just it's supposed to be an extension of a larger strategy. And where we mess up is that we're miseducated to thinking that the vote is political participation. It's not.
That's the X factor.
It's
you have an equation. You have to fill in your X factor.
That's right.
Yes.
And every X factor is not going to be the same.
No, it's not.
So you have to do this. Know what they are, your assets and your liabilities.
Yes.
That's money.
I say. All right, y'all. This has been great. And I want to shout out my sister, Miss Tina Torres, with the Juneteenth Freedom Fest. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if she's gonna jump in or not, but I want to remind everybody about the June 14th Juneteenth Freedom Fest Night Parade. Be on the lookout for more information about that. I didn't have the flyer to put up tonight, but we're gonna definitely get that out there. Look, there she is right there. Hola. Okay, you're in the chat, Tina. I want you in the thing right here, right? So I messaged you a link to join, an invite link that should allow you to join us up here, Miss Tina. So you're not just in the chat. I would really love for you to come in and talk to us about the Juneteenth.
Come on in, Tina.
parade.
Come on in.
All right. I just put it's in our group chat right now. And if you hit that link, let me hit that link, see what happens. Let me make sure.
Yes.
Yep. You hit that link, it's gonna say enter in the studio,
Awesome.
you know, Miss Tina. So matter of fact, let me just put the link out here in the chat where you at. Hold up. We're gonna make this happen. We're gonna make this happen.
Juneteenth. Wow.
You know,
8 years.
8 years.
8 years,
man.
And going strong.
8 in
8 years going strong.
numerology is money.
Yes.
That's what they say.
Ashe.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Ashe.
Yeah,
I like
it
that.
represents that.
Yes.
Yes.
And that can come in any form. It
That can come in any
It can
form.
be sponsorship.
It can be
It can be
sponsorship.
collaboration.
Time. Hey,
Right.
you know, our most valuable resources each
That's
other.
right. That's
Right.
right.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Tina.
And
How
presenting.
What's going on?
My daughter, how are you?
The one, the only,
Emily.
Miss Tina Perez.
Yes.
What's happening? Juneteenth Freedom Fest. You smiling from ear to ear because you just look like you up to something. What is going on, Miss Tina? Yes, you look like you up to something. You got something to share with the community.
I do. Can you hear me? Can you
Yes.
hear me?
Can.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So we are so excited this year because with our Juneteenth parade, it's actually going to be an evening parade, which is exciting. It's going to be that Friday night, June the 14th. We have already solidified one of the main grand marshal is going to be Angie Stone.
Oh.
Yes.
So
Black
Angie Stone will be our grand marshal. We're working on a couple of more surprises, but according to our sign-up list already for the parade, you're going to see some horses, you're going to see some dancing, some bands. We've got quite a bit that's starting to line up for that. Now it leads downtown. It's going to be downtown, of course. The main
main artery.
Main artery. That's what out there.
Okay.
They're going through them right through the main artery.
I feel like we should be seen. So it's going to be straight down, Sumter, Taylor Sumter on down to it's straight down Sumter just before Elmwood, and then we'll make a right somewhere in that area. But there is another festival happening that our Juneteenth will run into, which is great, and that's the Nova Fest. Happening on that Friday the 14th as well. So it's an honor to be partnered with them in order to kind of kill two birds with one stone in a sense, but we get to meet other people who probably haven't heard about Juneteenth, and it gives us another opportunity to spread the word. So again, our Juneteenth parade is going to be at 6:30 p.m. on that Friday, June the 14th. Saturday, of course, is our biggest thing of overall is going to be our festival at Dutch Square Mall outside in the parking lot. I need everybody to understand it is outside in the parking lot. We are taking over the parking lot once again. And we're so excited about that. Definitely want to make sure I give a shout out to Roger Brasley of the Brasley Foundation, who has worked tireless with us to make sure that we got the parade route that we wanted, and to be able to, and Angie Stone as our grand marshal, and be able to have some place to go right after the parade on that Friday night.
Right.
Yeah. And so then and we still are taking registrations for the parade. If you would like to be in the parade, please go to our website, juneteenthfreedomfest.com, click on parade, fill out the form. It's $25 for the first entry, and then $1 per additional entries underneath the first entry. Saturday, of course, once again, it is our festival, the 8th annual Juneteenth Freedom Fest at Dutch Square Mall outside in the parking lot. We are still taking registrations for vendors. I believe, Are we still taking registration for performance?
Yes, we are still taking registration for performance. Yes.
All right, and that's the team right there that's double looking. So make sure you guys are getting family
Put a tight show together. Let's go.
material.
Yeah,
Let me
family
very
friendly.
clear. We
Yeah.
will pull the plug. We will pull the sound plug. I don't have no problem pulling the sound plug.
Yes.
It needs to be family friendly, please. So again, you can go to the website. You can fill out an application for a performance if you would like to have the opportunity to perform on the stage. But let me also be clear too, it's not a guarantee.
That's right.
Go through these applications with a fine tooth comb. We check your websites, we check your social media. And the reason why we do this is because we need to just make sure.
That's right.
And even if you don't make it this year, and it's not being, you could definitely probably make it next year. We've had over 40 something applications to be able to perform on our stage. That speaks volume alone. When we talk about our vendors, listen, we're still taking applications for vendors. Again, go to the website, fill out an application. Now, it's not a guarantee once again, because we're very, very specific on letting it be known that when it comes to food, we take either 2 to 3 of the same. It gives people an opportunity to be able to, sell the product and make money.
Right.
This is a place where we will approximately have about 8,000 to 9,000 people, maybe even more. And so therefore, we just want to make sure that that black dollar is circulating right.
That's right.
That's right.
The other thing that we're working on also is a job fair, a health fair, as well as college fair, university type thing going on. So any colleges, universities that are interested in being at our festival, there is not a fee charge for that for you. So we ask that you please just go to the website once again, fill out the application. We'll take it from there. If you are hiring, we also ask that you go to the website, fill out an application on the vendors, and we will get you in there as well. If you are a nonprofit and you are a 501c3 certified, please fill out the application, especially if it's something that's going to benefit our community. This is the perfect opportunity for anyone that has a product that's going to benefit our community to be at the festival.
Absolutely.
That you take that opportunity, because one thing that we often hear is people don't know what we do. I don't want to hear it. This is the perfect place, the perfect opportunity for you to bring your materials, but you got to register. You have to register. You will not be able to set up a table unless you register.
I say, absolutely.
Can't work with you if you don't work with us, and we got to do it right, guys. Another thing that we want to make sure, we're excited that we actually are going to have a kids corner. They will have bounce houses and characters and stuff like that. So we do want to give a shout out to the party spot under Cortez and CL Taylor. They're bringing their equipment and a big game truck, the size of a Greyhound, not the small ones that we're used to.
Big game truck is
it's
coming.
A Greyhound bus that's coming out. That's a game truck.
That's beautiful.
But you'll see it also in the parade. They have signed up to be in the parade as well. So we are working nonstop to make sure that we're bringing something that actually is going to be huge benefit to our communities. And I say communities because it's not just that Broad River area. We want everyone to know that we have people that come from all across this, the state to be with us. We have people that come from out of state to be with us.
Out of state, I would say all over the country.
All over the country, actually. We have people that come from Texas to help push what we're doing here in South Carolina. So we do ask that you guys please come on board. We've got some great entertainment. Shout out to a couple of our sponsors. We've got Michelin as one of our sponsors, Michelin Tire. And they, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to be setting up their hiring. So they'll have a booth out there to take applications. Lexington Med is another one of our sponsors. We want to give a shout out to them.
Now Lexington.
Okay.
Lexington Medical in the house.
Yes, they actually came back again this year, so we're excited about that. We really have a lot going on, and we want you guys to participate. So please, if you want to be a sponsor, listen, come on. We need you. It's going to be a lot of entertaining and impactful things going on. And this is the one time that you're going to get everything that you need. We're also working with immunization shots. If we can get them out there for our babies who are not up to date on our immunization shots, we're working on that too. The goal, once again, is for, if you can't get it on the, when you on the outside, just know Juneteenth is going to bring it so you can get it. But we need you to also participate too. So there you go.
And that's the spirit of community. Juneteenth was established as a celebration of Black freedom and a celebration of the building of successful Black communities. So bringing that whole spirit, encapsulating that spirit inside of this event, I believe is very powerful, and one that the goal is for it to carry over and beyond. And we begin to treat each other like we had a Juneteenth Freedom Fest every single day. Thank you, Miss Tina, for coming on.
Thank you, daughter.
Thank you for having me.
With all that you do.
That's the hardest working woman on this planet. She's something else, y'all.
Oh, true.
We appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all. Wait a minute now.
What?
Y'all board members, vice president.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Secretary.
Yes.
So I need to give a huge shout out to the board, though. The board works effortlessly. Like, this podcast is the result of 2 amazing board members.
Yes.
But we also have an amazing leader. Can't not get on here and not give a shout out to Jamal Bradley.
Juneteenth Jamal. Juneteenth.
Because of him and his wife, this is why we're here today.
I
mean, yes, Juneteenth is everywhere, but we didn't have it in South Carolina as deep as we have it right now. It hadn't been for him and his wife, Carmen. So we want to make sure we give a shout out to him. And then also we have another Kawan Fitch that works with us. She does all like the other logistics and stuff like that to make sure that we're in compliance. And then we have another board member, Fred Folston. That's his last name, right? So but thank you, Jamal, for putting us in position to be able to do what we do.
Yes,
Without you creating this platform, we wouldn't be able to do things that we do right now with Juneteenth. So thank you.
That's true.
Definitely a team effort, definitely a powerful team. And shout out to all of our volunteers and those who like to volunteer. We're still accepting volunteers.
That's right. We still are accepting volunteers. We need as many as we can get. We start at 8 a.m. in the morning, possibly 7 a.m. in the morning, and we'll probably be out there till about almost 10 o'clock at night. And we need some really dedicated volunteers, those of you that don't mind helping in the field, but as well as helping with us behind closed doors too with some logistics. So we really could use your help. I could use your help. And so whatever you guys can do, but we just want to say thank you to you.
There's some personal volunteers myself. So
right.
I'm like, fill out the form, but put it on there. You working with Baba B. Let's go. Let's go, y'all. Let's go. Oh, and we are still accepting donations too. You know how to
So on our website, we do have a link where you can click on to be able to apply a donation. We want to thank those that have already sent in donations. We truly appreciate you all. Every dollar that comes in does go back out into the community, because this is how we make Juneteenth happen. By creating Juneteenth in South Carolina the way that we're doing it right now, and having all the resources right there at your feet, or at your fingertips rather, is a good thing, because you can't have 9,000 people, 10,000 people in one area and not give them the tools to be able to either build their foundation, smooth out their foundation, or whatever they need. So this is the perfect opportunity to come and get what you need: education, work, medical, and then be able to shop with some amazing vendors. And eat good. We got some good food.
Absolutely.
Yes. You was going deep, but I wanted to say food first, but you was going deep with now. I was like, what about the food? We get to eat.
I'm very passionate. You can tell it, and I think Jamal will tell you. You can tell the difference from when I came on 8 years ago to now. I didn't know what Juneteenth was 8 years ago. And I have an amazing teacher that's been teaching me. Every time I turn around, I'm learning something new. And so being a part of Juneteenth is not to be a part of it for clout. Being a part of Juneteenth is learning about you, learning about your history. You know who you are as a female, as a black female, a black male. You know, there are so many things that I've learned being a part of this team. You're crazy to be a part of the team, but I'm just saying.
Yes.
But I've learned a lot, and so we could, you gotta come. Juneteenth is where it's at. South Carolina Juneteenth freedom parade.
Like to say,
Period.
right.
Period.
I'm looking forward to being there with the swords. I've been
Yes.
the swords.
Yes.
Yeah, we couldn't. You got to be there. There are some of you guys that have been with us since the beginning, and so it's imperative that you guys be a part of it. You know,
people that use swords don't really got to register because they use swords. She's using swords.
You hear Baba, right? You hear Baba.
We're gonna stop Mama G at the gate, not me. Don't come get me. If she says she want to get up there, she get up there. Oh no, I'm just
Listen, we can learn so much from Mama G, and sometimes we don't take. Some of us that we keep going and going. Some of us need to slow down and listen.
I say. I like what Brother Jamal just put, and it's all free.
Well, the entrance is free.
The entrance,
right?
The entrance is free.
I mean, there's no it's open.
Now, once you come in, now you got to pay for it.
Now, once you walk up to a vendor, I'm gonna need you to pull out some dollar bills.
What you got to do. That's why we ain't charging you at the door. So you can come spread it on the inside and spread it
on the inside.
I say. Well, Sister Tina, thank you for your time. Jumping on with us right quick, and breaking it down as only you can. Y'all, June 14th, really that whole week. And next week, we're going to cover every day. Because I grew up in Texas. I've been celebrating Juneteenth my whole life. I ain't never had a Juneteenth week. It wasn't until I got out here where I saw Juneteenth being celebrated every day of the week of Juneteenth. It's something going on. And so we're going to continue to bring that stuff to you all, let y'all know what's going on. Mama G, thank you.
Yes, no.
Santa for hanging out with us tonight. You know what I'm saying?
I had a great time. This was really fun.
All right.
Wait a minute. What was it? Hot.
Yeah, hot. That's the thing. Hot. So, hey, Asante Sana to everybody who watched tonight, who joined us tonight. Make sure you like the video, share the content. Y'all know the community is starving for positive content and wisdom. Make sure you're spreading it and put it on your timeline. Let's interrupt the algorithm. Closing remarks, sir.
We just want to make sure that we all continue to be the vessels that we've been designed to be.
I say it.
And just as long as we sustain and maintain being the vessel that the Creator, our ancestors have given us, then we should arrive to where our destination has placed us.
I say. With that being said, we love y'all and we don't mind telling y'all. This has been the First Majority Podcast.
First Majority.
We out, y'all. Peace.
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 And